We're blessed to have yet another channel leader here with us, right? Mr. Joshua Lockhart. He just took the reins, and he's already done an incredible job. You know, as soon as he took it over, I'm just so happy that he's here to pour into us a little bit. And they're also, right, him and Nick Odom are partnering up, and they're going to have a workshop tomorrow. So, guys, I mean, we got a lot going on. Florida right now is killing it. We're on fire. We're growing. So I want to make sure that we give you guys enough resources to completely understand how to thrive in each of these channels. And I can't think of a better person than the channel leader, an awesome guy, a good friend of mine, Mr. Josh Lockhart, to do it. So, sir, over to you.
Hey. All right. Appreciate you having me on. Glad to be here. I was so excited after this event. I had to stand up. I couldn't stop. I couldn't sit down and talk, right? This is the young pros. We bring the energy. We bring the fire. And listen, you know, what does your business look like in 20 years, right? You know, maybe you haven't even thought that far, right? You're like, I'm worried about tomorrow. I'm worried about the event today, right? Well, in 10 years, 20 years, I mean, is your business growing in spite of you? Are you off? Maybe you're retired. You slow down. You're reaping the fruits of all your labors, right? Well, I mean, if you're going out and, you know, you're just marketing memberships, no, hey, that's right. That's okay. That's okay. You're going to get residual income, but is it growing? All right. Is it growing? Not only that, right? Who are the people on your team that's helping it to grow? We just heard from Michael Dorsey. Michael Dorsey started when he was a young professional in the business. Now he's a wise professional dropping nuggets for us at $800,000 a year. But somebody recruited Michael Dorsey, and it was not a young person. How about Brian Carruthers, right? We all know him as the #1 money earner. He started in his 20s, right? The person that recruited Brian Carruthers was not a young person, right? They were all, and we could go on and on and on, right? And so if you want to get serious about leaving a legacy to your family, right, it's going to happen with the next generation. All right. Now, when I started in Legal Shield and really my career in general, I was in my early 20s. When I got introduced to corporate America, this is what they told me. They said my hair was a little bit spikier. I wore earrings. They said, you don't look the part, right? You're too young. No one's going to take you seriously. In fact, you're probably going to get fired. But the guy that we wanted to hire, you know, something happened to him. So, hey, we need to fill a spot. You're in. Right? How is that for an introduction? They didn't help me. They didn't give me any guidance. I worked in the insurance industry. They taught me all about insurance. I could tell you anything about insurance. I just couldn't tell you how to build a business. Right? And so then I get introduced to Legal Shield. Now, this is a little bit controversial. My first meeting at Legal Shield at 23 years old, I came to a hotel briefing, right, with a bunch of elderly folks. I was the only one in the room that was young, and they were passing out cassette tapes. Now, you might say, what's wrong with cassette tapes? I love cassette tapes. Well, at that stage in the game, that was like handing you an Atari. You know what I mean? Like, it was almost disrespectful. I'm like, what did I get myself into? And had I not had a relentless sponsor that called me, it took me 6 months just to get to my first event. Because I'm like, these guys don't even get it. That's just my perception, right? Right or wrong, indifferent, that's what it was. So I finally go to my first event. Quite honestly, it was a little bit boring. This is when identity theft first came big, and they were reading out of this book. And the only thing that caught my attention was this young guy that was making 6 figures. And I'm like, what's that about? And he lays it out for me. He goes, look, there's these 10 things. If you do the 10 things, you'll have success. And I'm like, I don't know about all this stuff, and I don't know all these people, but this guy's making it happen. Let me just try out these little 10 things. You know them as the 10 core commitments. So I gave him a shot. 6 months later, I find myself at a national convention, right? 6 months. And what do we find at the national convention, right? Met Harlan Stone Cipher, people like Dave Savola, toured the home office, met all the law firms. And I'm like, man, this isn't just about, you know, selling legal insurance. This isn't just about making a little bit of money. These people are onto something, right? They believe in something. And so that got me fired up. 6 months later was the first time I hit executive director. All right. So the young pros, okay, I've been building the young pros my whole life, right? We just got the title a few months ago. And in that time, right, I don't know if I'm allowed to share the exact numbers, but the young pros in Legal Shield are just tearing up any number that you want to throw at them, right? How many memberships are being written? How many people are joining the business? How many people are jumping into the chat? How fast is that growing? How many people are on the calls? We're maxing out calls. We can't even fit anybody else on the calls, right? We have to stream it on the associate page. All right. We've literally doubled the amount of business that the young people in this company are doing over the last 6 months. All right. And so the thing is, if you look on the media right now, if you go out on the news, there's people protesting, rioting in the streets. That's not the older generation, right? They're too smart. They're too smart for that. They don't, you know what I mean? They're like, I'm staying home. I'm not going out there. It's young people, right? They see something, they believe in something, and they're willing to risk life and limb to make it happen, whether or not. And listen, I've had conversations today about young people in this company that are going through struggles, intense struggles in their profession, in the business, in their personal life. They're literally taking hits, and they just relentlessly continue to move forward, right? The thing that I wanted when I joined Legal Shield, I wasn't looking for Legal Shield. What I wanted was just some vehicle, right, and a mentor. I wanted somebody that knew what they were talking about, that could say, hey, I've been down the path. I'll show you the way, number one. And number two, something that I could put my blood, sweat, and tears, all that I had, and be great. As long as it's legal, I don't even know if I cared what it was. I just wanted to find that thing. And for me, it ended up being Legal Shield. All right. And so if you're sleeping on the young pros and you haven't checked it out, you haven't been in the chat, you haven't been on the call, you haven't felt the energy and the passion that these young people give, right? You're really missing the boat, because the 10-year version of yourself from now is going to wish that you did, right? I know sometimes, we're like, well, hey, I just want to go market the best memberships. I'm with you. I just want to go recruit sales professionals. I'm with you, right? What I want is a little bit crazy, a little bit audacious young people that are willing to walk through a brick wall to make their dreams come true, that are going to be the next Brian Crothers, Darnell Selfs, Michael Dorsey's, and all the big names of this company. I want them on my team, and I want them on your team. All right. And so tomorrow at 1:15, me and Nick Odom, that's what we're going to be talking about: how to plug in, what the market looks like. How do you position yourself if you're not a young professional to recruit more young professionals? Because here's the deal, right? They're going to do something, right? They're going to be an Instagram influencer, a drop shipper, an e-commerce person, right? They're going to go build some other thing, right? Entrepreneurship is sexy. And sometimes maybe you've heard somebody say that Legal Shield is the best steak in town, right? But sometimes we don't have the best sizzle. The young pros is the sizzle, right? And so tomorrow, I realize this talk isn't a lot of data. It's not a lot of training. That's for tomorrow. Come tomorrow and we'll get you the information, right? And so I just wanted to get on here and promote why you should be taking this seriously, why you should not be sleeping on this, right? And come out tomorrow, and we're going to have a lineup of young professionals. I mean, these people, right? These aren't 18-year-olds that are just trying to find their way in life. These are people that have been building themselves to the highest levels inside of Legal Shield and out, right? And flat out making it happen. Some of these folks, right, have taken the money they made in Legal Shield and made super successful businesses outside of Legal Shield, but they're still here, right? Because they believe in what we do, right? You can make money doing lots of things. Why be here? All right. And some of the people like Nick Odom, right? He has an incredible story. Broke a company record over 40 years, making a six-figure income. The guy is brilliant, as Daniel Gonzalez said, and I would agree with that, right? So how do you attract more people like that? That's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. So I'm so glad to be on here, right? I just want to hop on and give a little bit of my energy and passion, because I'm fired up. I've been, I hosted a Super Saturday this morning. I've been making calls. I was out doing my cardio, walking around, came in, threw on a shirt just so I could be here for you guys, because I love Daniel and I love Legal Shield that much. So we'll see you tomorrow at 1:15, and I'll let you get back to it. Daniel, over to you.